This retrospective for myself in 1969. I actually gave up art in 1969. Now, I had no idea Duchamp had given it up before, allegedly. And I knew about Duchamp, and I was very suspicious of Duchamp then, and still suspicious now. But I gave it up anyway. And the way I gave it up was to write a list of 1,000 pieces, which I then showed at the Tate. And this 1,000, first slide please. You can press the button, press the switch on, and it's just switch the projector on. I know it's a very antiquated machine, I know, I can't even wind it up. You switch the switch on. No, it's on the back of the machine. It says on. Remember the switches that said on? And the off? You can't remember that.
Somebody else.
No, it's on.
This isn't on. No, it's not.
It's on.
No, it's no light.
It's wobbling. It's wobbling.
It's a bad organisation, I'd say.
It's a design problem.
No, this isn't on.
It was on.
It was on. Somebody's.
No, it's on. Ah, it's on. Okay, here's the press line.
No way.
Oh, sorry. Right. This is at the Tate Gallery in London, and this is my retrospective. What I suddenly realised was that all of the work that I've been looking at, I perceived through a photograph, seen in a magazine. So what's the point of making anything other than a magazine? Just go straight to the magazine. Why make a piece of work that you have to throw away? Just make it, stick it in a magazine. So I made this publication, which was the work. So when people came to see the show, they said, "Where's the show?" I said, "There's the show is the show, and the show is the catalogue of the show." So they said, "Oh, can I have a catalogue?" I said, "Yeah." They came and took a catalogue, and eventually the show was removed. So one day retrospective, and the whole catalogue, everything was removed. Ending my career as an artist. Finito. God, I felt better for that. So then, I thought, what am I going to do? Is there life after art? Yes. So I I'm very interested in working with other people. Not interested in me, more interested in working as in a collaborative sort of way. So I was working with some students at Medicine School of Art, and we formed together a silent rock band, which was a pose band. God, I can hardly do it, so all of them was incredible. People tried there. Anyway, so that's what we did. So next slide, please. But just before we got into the pose band, some of the works I'd made prior to actually giving up. This is a work I made in the greenhouse. It's called People Who Make Art in Greenhouses piece. Next slide, please. And this is a photographic work called Fallen Warrior piece. It's a piece of that is a photographic work. It is not a performance. It's a piece of made as a photograph. And the basic premise of what was the reason behind this photograph? I was always very interested in why a lot of classical and earlier sculpture always fell on a plinth. If you were a warrior being shot down in a war, get the plinth in quick. Or a classical sculpture was always attached to a tree stump. Never a wheelbarrow or a cannon, but a tree stump. So this is what that's about. So these are just kind of pieces which preceded me doing what I'm doing next. Next slide, please. So then, this is 1970, I think, yes, 1969, 70. We decided to form a pose band. We thought we could make a new genre. I hate that word, but I can say that. A new genre. Can I say genre? We don't want to call it art, we want to call it pose. So if I said this was a good pose and that was a bad pose, this is a difficult pose, it didn't matter, because we just make it up as we went along. And that's what we thought we could do. So we had a pose band, and this is an early still of difficult pose. This looks a bit like rock and roll. We quickly got rid of this rock and roll finish. Next. This is very bad still. Next slide. That's very bad still from a TV monitor. Same like that again. We were invited, having just given up art, we were invited by the British Council to be involved in an art show. Which of course we had to accept because we couldn't say no. We were just a bunch of creeps basically for everybody else. And no, we said we would participate in the show if we could have the conditions we wanted. If we were billed as a pose band, not an art band. And we went and performed in the Sonja Henny Niels Onstad Foundation in Oslo in 1970 to an audience of like 3,000 people. We thought we were the new Beatles or the Rolling Stones, but when we stood on stage going, very quickly the beer cans and bottles appeared, and they weren't too amused at this kind of posturing. We had some screaming music on loop tapes, so they make it, give it a bit more edge, but they weren't convinced by that. So that was a disaster. Anyway, next slide. But basically it was a these are shots of us in Oslo. These, this thing here is the world's longest post pole. It's a pole with a mirror at the end, a torch, so that if I want to check out a bit of a good move or a good crease in somebody's collar, because you might think that these creases in this shirt are just natural and casual. They're all completely constructed and carefully worked out by computer prior to my arrival here. You might think I look like 4'8", but I'm actually 6'4". Anyway, this is a compilation of the shots of this pose band in Oslo. The next slide. Is this making any sense? No. Right? Next slide. What's that noise?
It's your tray, Bruce.
This is my tray. This is keep going. These are very old and historic shots of the early yeah, okay. Can you focus that one? Okay, leave that, it's fine. This is at Mason School of Art. For one of the students, the guy there on the left hand side, had to do his dissertation. And he said he didn't want to do a dissertation, he wanted to do a performance on posturing and posing in a semi-domestic situation. So he worked with ironing boards and and hoovers and things to deal with things. What we were interested in is a non-verbal communication and actually how you actually move through space and how you behave. I'm still interested in this sort of thing. I find it very interesting that there's all these amazing clothes around now. There's fantastic clothes that people are making and pretty fantastic looking cars.